If you're a woman over 60, I want you to pause for a few seconds and listen very closely to this. Because there is one morning habit that 90% of women do completely unconsciously, yet it is the hidden reason why your hair is shedding more, thinning faster, and growing weaker day by day, faster than what aging alone would ever cause. The frightening part is this. It has nothing to do with hormones, nothing to do with genetics, and nothing to do with poor hair care. It comes down to just one small action you repeat every morning. An action almost all of us believe is harmless. But in reality, it is breaking your strands, sensitizing your scalp, and shortening your hair's life cycle by 3-5 times. Today, I want to reveal the truth about this habit. And the beautiful part is this. Just changing one tiny detail a few seconds each morning can noticeably reduce hair fall within just a few weeks. If you've ever seen excessive hair on your pillow, in your brush, or in the shower, stay with me until the end of this video. You will finally understand what is truly happening to your hair after 60. I'm Dr. Evelyn Brooks, a physician specializing in women's health and aging after 60, with more than 15 years of experience caring for thinning hair, sensitive scalps, and hormone-related changes that directly affect the hair of older women. After working with thousands of patients over the years, I've noticed one recurring belief in women aged 60 to 80. They all think hair loss is because they are simply getting old, but that is not the truth. Your hair can still grow stronger, thicker, and shed less, as long as you understand how the scalp works as we age. That's why I created this video. Because every week, I meet women who say things like, "Doctor, I don't understand why my hair is falling so fast. I wash my hair correctly, but it still sheds. Is it because I'm not young anymore?" And most of them are shocked when I tell them, it's not because of aging, it's because of one wrong morning habit that no one ever warned you about. Before we talk about the habit that accelerates hair loss every morning, I want you to take a moment to reflect on yourself. Because if you've ever looked into the mirror and wondered, why is my hair thinning so fast? Why do I see more hair in my brush each time I comb it? Am I aging too quickly? Then you are not alone. Almost every woman over 60 feels the same. They start avoiding brushing, hesitating to wash their hair, and fearing the sight of their comb or shower drain because they know they'll see more strands falling. And the saddest part is this. Many women blame themselves. They think they're not taking good enough care of their hair or that their body is declining. But I want you to know something very clearly. It is not your fault. After age 60, the scalp becomes 22-35% thinner. The oil glands become less active, the hair becomes drier and more brittle, and the follicles become far more sensitive than when you were younger. No one teaches us how to care for mature hair. No one tells you that hair after 60 must be treated completely differently, and because of that, many women unintentionally damage their hair every single morning right after waking up without ever realizing it. Now, let's move into the most important part of today's video. The morning habit that silently causes your hair to shed faster is brushing your hair immediately after waking up, especially when your hair is dry, tangled, or compressed after a full night on the pillow. It sounds harmless, doesn't it? But science tells a very different story. Right after you wake up, your hair strands are in their weakest state of the day. The cuticle layer, your hair's protective shell, is misaligned. The roots have not yet been warmed up by blood flow, and the natural moisture on your scalp is nearly zero after hours of air conditioning. And for women over 60, scalp moisture is already 30-40% lower than in younger years. This means your hair is more brittle, more fragile, and much less able to withstand pulling. So when you run a brush through your hair at that moment, especially dragging it from the roots down your strands, simply do not have the flexibility or moisture to endure the tension. They don't just break along the shaft, they can also weaken the follicles, causing more shedding throughout the day. This is why you see the most hair fall in the morning brush far more than at any other time of day. And in the next section, I will reveal the 5 morning mistakes that make this problem even worse. The first mistake, and also the most common, is brushing your hair immediately while it's still dry, tangled, and not yet softened. Many women have the habit of waking up, running their fingers through their hair, and brushing right away. It sounds completely normal. But for hair after 60, this is the most dangerous moment of the day. After a full night of sleep, your hair is compressed, lightly twisted, and has lost all its natural softness. At this point, your strands behave like dry threads. Even the slightest pulling force can break them. A study from the International Journal of Trichology found that when dry, tangled hair is exposed to sudden pulling, the risk of breakage increases by up to 89%, and that pulling force travels all the way down to the follicle, weakening it over time. I've had so many patients ask me, "Doctor, why does my hair still fall out even though I brush gently?" And the answer is almost always the same, because they brush when their hair is not prepared to be brushed. One small change, like lightly misting your hair or softening it before brushing, can reduce morning breakage by 40–60%. In the next part, you'll see that mistake, number 2, can damage your hair even more silently. The second mistake many women never expect is tying their hair too tightly as soon as they wake up, often to keep it tidy, hide the frizz, or get ready for chores. But tying your hair tightly in the morning, when your strands are dry and at their weakest, can lead to a condition called traction alopecia, a type of hair loss caused by continuous pulling, very common in older women. When you make a tight ponytail, a tight bun, or use small elastic bands, that pulling force goes straight to the follicle. And since the scalp after 60 is thinner and more delicate, this force stretches the follicle continuously, weakening the strands and causing gradual hair loss over time. I've seen many women ages 65, 75 lose hair along the temples, the sides of the forehead, or the crown, simply because they maintained the habit of tight hairstyles for years. The heartbreaking part is they never knew the cause. If you notice pain when tying your hair, tightness on the scalp, or thinning patches on the sides, these are early signs of traction alopecia. The good news: simply switching to a looser hairstyle or leaving your hair down for the first few hours of the day can significantly reduce shedding within weeks. The third mistake many women over 60 never suspect is using the wrong kind of comb in the morning. Most people use tight-tooth plastic combs, thinking they make the hair smoother and tidy faster. But for hair that's already thin, dry, and fragile after 60, this is actually the most damaging tool. Tight-tooth combs create high friction, scratching and lifting the cuticle layer of each strand. Plastic combs also generate static, making hair fly out, tangle easily, and break even more. A study in the Journal of Cosmetic Science showed that static electricity can increase hair breakage up to 3-fold, especially in strands that are already thinning with age. I've seen many women ages 60–80 experience severe hair shedding simply because they start every morning with the wrong comb. Hair after 60 needs something different: a wide-tooth comb to reduce tension, or a natural boar bristle brush to distribute natural oils along the hair shaft. Sometimes, just changing your comb can dramatically reduce daily hair fall without any expensive products. And if you're still using a tight tooth comb every morning, this may be the reason your hair looks thinner day by day. If these insights are helping you understand your hair better, feel free to like or subscribe, not for the algorithm, but so I can continue walking with you, step by step, on your hair care journey after 60. The fourth mistake is a habit that almost every woman has done since she was young, but it becomes extremely damaging once we pass age 60. And that habit is brushing your hair from the roots downward. When you brush in this direction, every knot gets pulled tight all at once. That pulling force doesn't just break the strand, it travels all the way down to the follicle, causing the root to be yanked and leading to more shedding throughout the day. This is especially dangerous for women over 60, when the strands are thinner, produce less natural oil, and the scalp is so sensitive that even gentle tension can cause damage. I often tell my patients, brushing from root to tip is like pulling hard on an old thread, it snaps instantly. The correct and safest way is to brush from the ends upward, gently detangling small sections first, then slowly moving your way up the mid-lengths and roots. This technique significantly reduces tension on the follicles and can lower breakage by 30–50% within just a few weeks. If you always see a lot of hair fall when brushing, or hear that little T, T, T sound in the comb, this is very likely the reason. The fifth mistake, and a silent cause of morning hair loss, is brushing your hair when your scalp is completely dry. After 6-8 hours of sleep, your scalp has almost no natural moisture left. Oil production slows as we age. And according to dermatology research, women over 60 produce up to 40% less natural oil than in younger years. This makes the scalp dry, tight, easily irritated, and the strands become brittle and much weaker. When you brush your hair on a dry scalp, friction increases suddenly. The cuticle layer gets scraped and damaged. The follicles experience more pulling force, all leading to one outcome: more hair shedding. Many women tell me, "Doctor, I brush very gently, but it still falls out." But the truth isn't about your hand pressure. It's about the scalp having zero slip and no protection for the strands. Just one small change, like misting your hair lightly, softening it with 2-3 drops of hair oil, or simply massaging the scalp for a few seconds before brushing, can instantly reduce the amount of hair you lose in the morning. And the wonderful part is, many women ages 60-80 have told me, "It turns out my hair wasn't weak, I was just brushing it the wrong way all these years." To help your hair truly grow stronger each day, you don't need to change very much. Just applying a few small morning steps can noticeably reduce hair shedding within just a few weeks. First, help your hair wake up gently by misting it with a very light layer of moisture. You don't need to make your hair wet, just soft enough to withstand brushing. Research shows that hair with slight moisture has up to half the breakage risk when brushed in the morning. You can use a leave-in mist, filtered water, or even warm water in a spray bottle, as long as your strands have a little slip before the comb touches them. Next, switch to a gentler type of comb. A wide-tooth comb or a natural bristle brush helps reduce friction, allowing the hair to glide through without being pulled. For strands that have thinned with age, this simple change makes a tremendous difference. And when you brush, always start from the ends first. Detangle small knots at the bottom. Then slowly work your way up to the mid-lengths and roots. This method not only reduces breakage, but it also minimizes tension on the follicles, the place that determines the life of each strand. Another step you can add is a 45-60 second scalp massage. These gentle movements increase blood circulation, deliver more nutrients to the follicles, and help open up the scalp before brushing. Finally, don't forget the support of a few drops of hair oil. Argan, jojoba, or coconut oil can all create a protective layer around your strands, reduce friction, and make the hair stronger throughout the day. Just 1-2 drops are enough to make your hair softer, easier to brush, and noticeably less prone to shedding. When you combine these small steps, you'll notice your hair becoming smoother, softer, and most importantly, shedding less, even as you move through your 60 seconds, 70 seconds, or beyond. I want to tell you the story of Linda Thompson, a 7-year-old woman living in Florida. Linda came to see me one afternoon in March, holding a small hair clip in her hand. She sat down, lowered her head onto the table, and said a sentence I've heard countless times from women her age. "Doctor, I think I'm going bald." Linda told me that every morning, when she brushed her hair, she saw dozens of strands fall onto the floor. Her hair was so fragile that even a simple ponytail made her scalp hurt. And the saddest part was that she no longer dared to look at the back of her head in the mirror. She thought it was because of her age. She blamed her hormones, menopause, her body. But after a few simple questions, I realized the real cause was her morning habits she never knew were wrong. She brushed her hair immediately after waking up. She used a tight tooth comb. She tied her hair tightly to look neat while making breakfast. And most importantly, she never softened or misted her hair before brushing. We changed just a few tiny steps. A light mist before brushing, switching to a wide tooth comb, and detangling from the ends upward instead of dragging from the roots down. 6 weeks later, Linda returned to my clinic. She walked in smiling, her hair visibly fuller. And for the first time in years, she told me she wasn't afraid to brush her hair anymore. She said, "You know, doctor, I always thought my hair was weak. Turns out I'd just been brushing it the wrong way for years. Linda's story is not rare, and the most beautiful thing is this: her result can happen for you too. Before we continue, I want to take a gentle moment to ask you something. A small question, but one that helps me understand your hair and your self-care journey more deeply. Among the 5 mistakes I just shared, which one do you see yourself in the most? Maybe it's brushing your hair right after waking up. Maybe tying it too tightly because you want it to look neat. Maybe using the same old comb you've had for years. Or maybe brushing from root to tip without realizing how much tension it puts on your follicles. Or simply having a dry scalp every morning and never knowing that dryness alone can cause more breakage. Every woman over 60 has her own story with her hair. Some remember the exact day their hair began to thin. Some once had such beautiful, voluminous hair that people admired it, but over time, they felt it wasn't the same anymore. And I want to tell you this very clearly. There is no right or wrong answer. There is nothing you should feel ashamed of or blame yourself for. You can leave a simple comment like, "I brush my hair right after waking up," or "I tie my hair tightly every morning," or just a short one, "My hair is always tangled in the morning." Just one single line is enough for me to know today's video reached something you're truly going through, and that small share of yours might help another woman. Someone out there sitting on the other side of the screen, worried about her thinning hair and thinking she's the only one going through it. The truth is, you are not alone. Thousands of women in their 60 seconds, 70 seconds, even 80 seconds are trying to understand their hair better. And I want this small community here to become a place where each person can share a little so that other women can feel comforted and understood. If you're ready, write down what you want to share about your hair. I promise I will read every comment. And those stories will help me create more helpful videos truly made for you and for every woman embracing her mature, beautiful years. If today's sharing helped you understand your hair more clearly, if you feel relieved because you finally know why your hair sheds so much every morning, or if just one small step from this video made you want to try something new tomorrow, then I'm truly happy to have been here with you. And if you'd like to continue receiving gentle guidance like this, small but meaningful insights to help you care for your body, your skin, and your hair after 60 with more wisdom and more love, you can tap like or subscribe, not for the algorithm, not to increase views, but because I don't want you to miss anything that can help you feel more beautiful, healthier, and more confident in your own body, whether you're 60, 70, or far beyond. The Woman Over 60 Secrets channel was created to walk with you, step by step, through simple, practical, age-appropriate knowledge that supports your naturally changing body. If you choose to stay, it'll continue bringing you gentle, helpful videos that truly speak to the things you care about every day. Thank you for being here with me until the very end. You deserve to have healthier, stronger hair, and I will always be here to help you achieve that. Before we finish, I want to leave you with one very gentle reminder. Your hair, whether thin, weak, dry, or harder to manage than before, is still trying to speak to you every single day. It is not betraying you. It is not aging too fast. And it is certainly not a sign that you have lost your beauty. On the contrary, it's simply your body's way of telling you it needs to be cared for differently, in a way that fits your age, your hormones, and the changes happening beneath the surface that you cannot see. If you begin changing just a few small morning habits, giving your hair a little moisture, a little softness, and giving yourself a little more love, you will be amazed at how much your hair can still recover, even in your 60 seconds, 70 seconds, or beyond. And I want you to remember this very clearly. This video is for educational and informational purposes only. It does not replace personal medical advice or diagnosis. If you're experiencing severe shedding, patchy hair loss, or signs of scalp inflammation such as redness, pain, or sensitivity, please seek help from a dermatologist or a scalp care specialist for an accurate evaluation. Thank you for spending your time with me until the end of this video. That alone shows how much you truly care about yourself, and you deserve to be cared for in every sense of the word. I'll see you in the next video. where we will continue exploring gentle secrets to help women over 60 shine in their own unique and beautiful way.